Hi, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to do a deep dive look at Chestnut Hill. Chestnut Hill has been highly requested as a video, and I am excited to finally do a map video on this. I will be doing and showing off two other videos featuring Chestnut Hill. One is with driving through and one when I'm walking down the avenue, so stay tuned for those videos. So in the meantime, here's a map video of Chestnut Hill, and we will see what goes on in Chestnut Hill. Hi, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to do a map tour of Chestnut Hill. This has been something that I had on my plate for a while, and I do have footage of the streets, so stay tuned for the drive-through video, as well as I was walking down Germantown Avenue. I took an afternoon, just kind of walked down the avenue, and just was showcasing the shops and the stores and what is great about Germantown Avenue. So in today's video, I'm going to do a map video of it, of Chestnut Hill. And I'll just be talking about what's in the area and what makes it so amazing. So here we are in Chestnut Hill. Normally, when I am coming into Chestnut Hill, my route into it is normally Germantown Avenue. When I will go to work. Well, this is, Corona, so I've kind of have not been traveling to Chestnut Hill as much as I had in the past. Well, I would say in the past, I guess 6 months now, since Corona. But anyway, normally when I get into the area, I go through Germantown Avenue, and it's in Germantown Avenue. How you kind of know is that you get the cobblestones. So, but basically, the number one indicator of going into Chestnut Hill is when you drive underneath the bridge. There is a rail bridge, like a bridge that is overhangs. I think it used to be like a train, a train, like it's a bridge that for a train. So I normally go underneath that, and you're kind of in Chestnut Hill when you're on the other side of that bridge. And I guess I wouldn't say it's a bridge, but I'm not sure. But forget about it. But anyway, going into Gresham Valley, right here is Crescent Valley Drive. Kind of takes you out into, it's kind of like the main route from Allen's Lane. And on West Allen's Lane, it's like a backward, it's like, you can take the back way in. And then Gresham Valley takes you to Stetton, and then you can either go straight to go into Winmore or slash Cedarbrook, or you can take that, you can go right into, definitely into Mount Airy, or you can make the left to go further out towards Plymouth Meeting. But anyway, so there is two trains that run through Chestnut Hill. There is like this train, which is the Highland, and well, I'm not really sure, but anyway, there is a train station right there, the Highland, as well as the regional rail, where most people really use to get into Mount Airy. So there's like Mount Airy East, and then there's also Mount Airy West. So yes, now I understand, because here it took me a while to remember, But yes, there is two different lines. There's the Mount Airy East and then the Mount Airy West line, and the West line stopped at Allen's Lane. I remember because when I used to work, I used to be a paralegal in my past life, and my attorney's office was on Allen's Lane. So I would stop at, so, this was the train station to get that was closer to the office. And then there was also like the Mount Airy, the Chestnut Hill East line. But there's two different trains. Um, Nevertheless. So when you're kind of towards the north, or at least like the northwest side of Mount Airy, um, yes, you're, or at least south, I guess I should say, like, never mind. But anyway, if you're kind of like in this area towards like the east side of Germantown Avenue, you have these, like, you have more commercial ish apartment complexes. There is the Chestnut Hill Village and then the Chestnut Hill Tower. These are apartment complex, and then across the street you have the Acme, and over here on the other side of of Willow Grove Avenue, you kind of have, it's mostly residential um, on both sides of the avenue. Um, and of course, like most of the action is on in the main street is Chestnut Hill. You have all the shops and the restaurants and whatnot. In Chestnut Hill, you have more action going on the line on the avenue. Um, and the other part of Chestnut Hill, you have more recreational stuff such as the golf course, the cricket club, uh, Springside, Chestnut Hill Academy is right, of course, in Chestnut Hill. Um, that school, that school is somewhat private. It's a private school, and there is also the you also have Philadelphia Squash Club. The elementary school in Chestnut Hill is Jenks, uh, and that's like right there on Chestnut Hill, on Germantown Avenue. Um, so the parks is, you have the Water Tower Recreation Center. It's just this big giant water tower, but there's like a park nearby. Um, the Friends of Wissahickon, if you've seen my video on when I walked through the Wissahickon Valley, this is where they are. And as well as if you're an artist and you're looking for art supplies, you have the Craftsman Supplies store right on the avenue. It's kind of in the cut of Chestnut Hill of Germantown Avenue, because it's like you walk when I was walking, there was a parking lot. Kind of you turn off and it's kind of like a little bit back, but it's kind of hard to see, but it's right there. I Sinsen is a Chinese restaurant with French flair. So it's really good. Like I had Sinsen. I went there with a client, and their dumplings are amazing. Pot stickers, I should say. Um, you have the Chestnut Hill Flower Garden, and interesting about this corner right here in this V area, between the Hugh Sang Garden and Mermaid Inn, there is um, a farmers market that sits themselves right here in this area, um, along this V. So they'll block these streets off from the V, but you can still go into Chestnut Hill. and they just set up, and you have different vendors. It's a farmers market. It's out there on Saturdays and Sundays. But I know definitely Saturdays they're there. Um, that if you're looking for, like a farmer's market where you can get meats and fish. There's also another grocery store in Chestnut Hill that if it's further up, and they have more going on. They're open daily, but this is a specialized farmers market that parks themselves there. Um, so um, yes, so of course you see many different churches, and then you have the Pastorius Park, which is kind of like I've never really been to that park, but I drove by it a lot. So when I would be coming the back way, I would go down Lincoln Drive, um, and I would see this park right here, and it's a pretty park from what I've seen so far. But I look forward to kind of looking at it. There's the Brandon Beck's Bakery and Ice Cream Parlor. I see a lot of people like hang out there so that they can get their ice cream and pastries. You have the Stage Crafters Theater, which is pretty popular. El Poquito. I had lunch there, and it's pretty good. I like I liked like it's a tequila bar. It's a tequila or Mexican restaurant. So I had lunch there, and Paris Bistro and Jazz Cafe. This is a pretty big place, and it's pretty nice. It's actually like a hotel. Well, it's it says hotel that's there. Um, but if I click on it, it's like a hotel, and I'll put up images of the hotel uh, along here, and then there's also the post office, which is between Paris Bistro and El Boquito, and then across the street is the Fresh Market. They're relatively inexpensive. It's a smaller groceries mark. It's a smaller grocery store, so it's not like an Acme. Um, but it is, if you have, like, you do have options in Chestnut Hill for grocery shopping. Um, and also next door to it is a vet for cats. I forget the name of but it's definitely for cats. Yeah, the cat clinic, which is there. Um, and the cat clinic, they specialize in cats. Um, I had called there to set an appointment for my cat, but I never took her there. We went somewhere else. But it's if you have cats, if you're somebody that that wants somebody that specializes in cats, this is where you can go. There's a cat vet in Chestnut Hill. There's also the Hideaway Music record store, I guess for vintage and vinyl music. You have several banks. So as you're getting further up Chestnut Hill, you have different banks. So there's the PNC Bank. You kind of have all the banks, the major banks on Chestnut Hill, on Germantown Avenue. So you have PNC Bank, which is kind of like the first one, and kind of like right here on Gravers Lane, between Gravers Lane and up here where this V is, where you turn off, which is Bethlehem Pike. This is kind of like main street, um, main street, Chestnut Hill. So in this in this area of Chestnut Hill, you have most of the uh, of the shops there. So you have many different boutiques, like small boutiques for clothes. Um, there's a paperita, stationery store. There is a store for gifts and a store for If you want to get custom bags and embroidery done, there's a place for that. There's also a consignment store, which is Green Street. You have the hardware store as well. So it's kind of right here in this area of Chestnut Hill. You also have Jenks School, which is right on Chestnut on Germantown Avenue and Southampton Avenue. There is I see people go and take their kids to play on the playground all the time. And yes, and then you also can park. There's also street parking on Germantown Avenue, but it's paid. And then there's also spots that is paid that you would have to pay. Philadelphia Parking Authority's parking lots where you pay to park. Um, but right here, this is Gravers Lane now. Um, there is the Iron Hill Brewery, which is right here and then you have the Sherwin Williams, and Berkshire Hathaway is here as well. And then next door to Berkshire Hathaway is Jose Banks. Since I did venture out into Chestnut Hill a few weeks, like probably about 2 weeks ago from this recording, and I saw that Jose Banks is no longer there. So I don't think they survived Corona. So unfortunately, I saw that their doors were shut, but there was a branch of Jose Banks. But I know, but yes, definitely Iron Hill and Sherwin Williams is there as well. There have parking. There's like a little alleyway driveway that you can park, and you can park back here for free. Um, and this is kind of like the parking area. And then next door in between that driveway is Weaver's Way Co-op. It's also another grocery store. Um, I've been there several times. I would get my lunch there. They have really good, well, the soups are kind of hit and miss because they'll have their standards, which is like, I guess, like the chicken noodle, but sometimes, if you really want a soup, they have a lot of different soups there. Not a lot. I shouldn't even say a lot. It's just like really like four. You can choose between four soups, and then they also have a salad bar, and you can also get sandwiches made. It's a co-op. It's a co-op grocery store, so they have everything in there. They are more leaning, obviously they are more lean towards the healthier lifestyle. So if you're looking for vegan food or vegetarian food or stuff to kind of support like a keto lifestyle or whatnot, like whatever your diet is, um, Weaver's Way has it's almost like it's almost like a Whole Foods in a way. That's like kind of like the best way that I can kind of say about it is that it's almost like it's a smaller Whole Foods, but it's not as big as Whole Foods. So, but anyway, you can have sandwiches. I think you can get tacos there. I got a taco one time in Gyro. They have a not a big bakery. They don't really have a bakery there. They have bakery goods. You can get fish and meat, but it's already packaged. Um, and then if you want to I think the only thing that I think you can kind of get from there if you're looking for freshly sliced meat would be like deli meat. I would say. But everything else you can get, they have different brands that you can get food from and drinks, and they're great for lunch too. But enough about that. You have also uh, the different clothing stores, like different boutiques. And oh yeah, I forgot another thing that Weaver's Way has is they also have a spice shop where you can get spices, and as well as if you're looking for vitamins, different vitamins and supplements, they also have a branch of that, like more for like wellness. It's like next door, so they have the wellness shop and then the spice shop, which is next door. And then at the corner is Killian Hardware. It's a hardware store. It's I go there a lot to get keys made and to get lock boxes and certain stuff that I would need whenever I'm selling a house, or if I need to get something for my own house. Um, I go there and pick it up because it's all within walking distance. You also have um, there also is the flower shop, and there is cake. I went there to like one time to because I felt like I wanted like just wanted to get a a cupcake. Their cakes are okay. They're I'm pretty sure they're really good. Their coffee was okay too, but it just wasn't my taste. But anyway, yes, they also have like some, but they're if you're into like specialty stuff, there's there too. And then also there is also like a cake shop down. There's several cake shops along Chestnut Hill, but I know this one is like right there. Starbucks, I go there all the time, or at least I went there all the time. When I was working on Chestnut Hill, they're extremely friendly. We kind of know about Starbucks, and you also have the True. And then up here, as you can tell, you have a lot more banks. Um, it started with PNC. Now you have True Mart, Financial, and Credit Union, and then you have Univest Bank Trusting Company, and then there's also Wells Fargo, which is up the street as well. Santander, and I believe there is if I remember correctly, I believe there is a Bank of America. Uh, and then there's also TD Bank and BB&T. Um, that's there. And then you have Kitchen Capers, which is a chain store, which is a kitchen supply store. There's one in Ardmore in Suburban Square. My mom always used to go into Kitchen Capers, and they have some cute stuff. But it's if you've been into a Kitchen Capers, it's pretty cluttered. Um, that's what I'll say about that. And then there's Green Street, which is a consignment shop. They had Green Street for Men, which I believe had closed. And then there's also Sedency that's also around here as well. I think, yeah, Sedency is, and then the Chestnut Hill Visitor Center. There is a visitor center, which is kind of in the heart of everything. Um, you also have Chill on the Hill, which is a frozen yogurt shop, and different antiques. Um, you have the jeweler, and there also is the Chestnut Hill Baptist Church, the Children of America. It's a daycare center. You also have the dental place, and then there's also Chestnut Hill Coffee. I've never been there. Oh no, yeah, I forgot. Citizens Bank. And then there is a sporting goods store right up here, um, kind of at the top of the hill. And then McNally's Tavern. They had a really good chocolate cake. It was like extremely good. Um, and then Bohemian Pink, which is a clothing store as well. And then you'll also have, and then kind of right here where Chestnut Hill Avenue and Germantown meet is kind of where everything kind of stops. That's kind of the end of like Main Street, Germantown Avenue. I know there's a lawyer place right there, and then you also have the wine and spirits here, and the outpatient therapy place, and another restaurant, a Thai restaurant, and a salon. Oh, and you have several salons on Chestnut Hill as well. Um, can't forget about the salons. So, but this is kind of like Main Street, Chestnut Hill, Germantown Avenue. Um, but anyway, that's just kind of what is kind of around here. Um, that I know of. And then, oh yeah, there's the Staples. And if I go further down, towards the beginning where we started our journey, um, you have Staples, and then you have CVS, and then across the street is the Night Kitchen Bakery. Um, I've never been in there, but they have a blue awning, as you can tell. They kind of stand out when you kind. And the thing about it is that whenever I drive down here, whenever I drive to Chestnut Hill, it's certain things that stick out. Um, there is one on Willow Grove Avenue. Like there's a nailery that is on Willow Grove Avenue, and and Germantown Avenue that just sticks out because it's like called Millennium. It just sticks out because it's right there by the corner. You see it, and then you have the Duke Barber Shop, which is across the street from it. There is the Baker Street Bread Company, which also sticks out. And then you have the Shell, which I mean, I don't know if anybody really goes to that Shell because you could get because their gas is pretty expensive. When you're driving through, it's like I can go to Sunoco on Stenton and pay cheaper than that. And Shell is a good company, but they're a little overpriced. So I never really would get anything there. I never got gas from there. And you have the Summer Classics Home Philadelphia, the outdoor furniture store. There's also several. There's artistry. There's the cleaners. There also was like Benjamin. There was also I guess this is irrelevant now because they're not open anymore. Um, it was another painting shop. Uh, you have the bookstore, which I don't even remember them. See, they're like what's going on? So they're it's like it says it on here that there's a bookstore. I don't see nothing there. It ain't there. And then across the street, you also have Laurel Hill Gardens, which is a gardening center, and then there's also one. I think, yeah, is there one next to El Coquito? No, there wasn't. Um, yeah, you have the Laurel Gardens and the Garden Gate Antiques, which stands out, and dressmaking and tailors and the jeweler place. It's Chestnut Hill has a lot to offer, especially on Main Street. It has so much to offer, and then everywhere else is pretty much residential. So if you're live in Chestnut Hill, you're basically if you choose to live in Chestnut Hill, you're within a few blocks of the avenue. And even if you were to be anywhere on in Mount Airy or Germantown, where there is Germantown Avenue, you can be within walking distance to Germantown Avenue because I'm just highlighting Chestnut Hill in today's video. But if I was to go into East Mount Airy or down further into Germantown, there are so many shops up and down Germantown Avenue that you know but that's like I can just do another map video on those and you can be but there's so much stuff that's there as well. Um and I mean, Chestnut Hill has a lot to offer. The prices in Chestnut Hill is definitely higher. You're lucky to find something for 200,000, if even. Homes normally kind of start around uh 250, depending on the condition of the house, of course, to like in the millions. But most of the time, the average price is really like 400 to 500,000 for a home in Chestnut Hill. And then Chestnut Hill consists of mainly rows, and you also have it's mostly row homes. There's also twins as well as singles. And the single houses are really, they look like regular houses. They're just there, and you have land. You have a little bit of land. You do have a little bit of land um, on the lot. Um, so that's enough of Germantown Avenue. I mean, I can talk about it for a while, but around here, there is, bigger homes are kind of over here. Like when it starts to kind of branch out, it's there's bigger homes kind of along like the outskirts of Chestnut Hill. Um, and then you also have ranches too. Well, there's not a lot of ranches. There's some ranches like kind of in a pocket. There's like some ranch homes, but not a lot. Um, you kind of almost see them along Stenton Avenue, but you can tell but most of the homes are like really two-story houses. So obviously this is more denser if you can see. This is more denser. Um, and but yeah, like you see there's bigger homes, there's bigger lot sizes of the houses. Or when you get further out, when you're more towards the recreational part of the of Chestnut Hill. Um and I mean, you'll also have when you're kind of more northwest of it, there's also um the different you'll also have other spots where actually no where was I going? Okay, so here we are. We're back in Chestnut Hill. I was in Elderheim and going into like Flowertown. I'm like, no, this isn't right. But anyway, you have the Moores Arboretum of the University of Pennsylvania. It's basically a big, it's an old estate. You have trees. There's camps there for kids. Um, you can be one with nature, and it's pretty. Obviously it's an arboretum or arboretum, so there's a lot of trees and plants there, and it's it's I mean it's one of the hidden gems of Philadelphia. If you've seen my video on that, and oh yeah, you also have Chestnut Hill College, which is on the outskirts going towards like right here on the corner of Germantown Avenue and Northwestern Avenue. That's kind of right there, and if you keep going down Germantown Pike, you're going into Lafayette Hill. Um, and but yes, there is the different gardens. There's the Gardener's Cottage, which is a natural landmark. Uh, the sorry, discard Hillcrest Pavilion. Well, you don't want to know that. That's a bathroom. But you have the Rose Garden, which is all about, this is all within Chestnut Hill. Um, you're kind of more towards the outskirts of Chestnut Hill at that point, but it's part of Chestnut Hill geographically. And then you have Chestnut Hill Hospital, and but yes, more out here you have more $1 million homes plus. Actually, not even so much just there. You have it more. You have them more around here as well after St. Martin's Lane. Beyond that, um, there's some bigger homes over on this side, and then when you're kind of more on the inland of it, like yes, you have your single family homes as well. Um, those homes are less than a million, and obviously they're all less than a million. But you're kind of be spending more like in the range of like probably 800 between like I guess, and I'm just gonna just like I guess I shouldn't really guess, but I would say like more in the higher end of things, like probably above 500 to like to like a million, kind of like around this area. Um, but yes, Chestnut Hill is definitely if you could get a nice house because the thing about Chestnut Hill is that Chestnut Hill the values don't really go down. They kind of just go up because it's more steady. The home prices, like if you can get a house in Chestnut Hill, you know you're going to get a return on that. You know you're going to get a really good return on your home if you were to sell it, or you can rent it out because a lot of people like to be in Chestnut Hill and be close to Jenks and be close to Springside, Chestnut Hill Academy. Um, People like to be close um, to those areas, and then also in the area, if I go north of, or at least go east. Am I getting my geography right? Probably not. Sorry again. but but anyway, if you're going east of Germantown Avenue and you're right in Stanton, this is kind of like Gresham Valley and Clinton Street area. Mermaid Lane. You have the Acme here. You also have some. You have like a shopping center right here. You have Wells Fargo. There's the UPS store. There's also the post office. And just to say, both post offices, they're not the greatest. They're okay, but when you go, just expect that if you were to walk into the post office, expect to be waiting a while. Um, but yes, there is a lot in Chestnut Hill, and there's new builds in Chestnut Hill, not as a lot, but whenever there is a new build, it's kind of something that people like to go to. They like to gravitate to. But the homes, they're relatively older. They were built like at least 1900s. Um, but they're all in really good shape. And some of the homes some homes, I should say some, not most, they are the homeowners there do put a lot more into their homes. So the homes are a little bit more they're definitely up to date, and they're they're not like a new build or a new construction, but they're definitely into they're very much have modern taste when they go to sell the homes. And if you were to buy, you're buying a really good investment if you're in Chestnut Hill because the values don't really go down. Um, and you're so close to everything. You're close to, you could take the train into Center City and to other places in the city. There's a bus that does ride into Chestnut Hill. There is, you can get into Montgomery County. It's kind of like one of the last areas. It's right there that you're basically, once you hit on the other side of Staten Avenue, you are in Montgomery County. You're in Winmore or Elderheim. You're If you go down Bethlehem Pike, you'll get into, I should say, well, Winmore if you're on the other side of Staten Ave. Well, yes, you're when you go down Elderham, Bethlehem Pike, you're in Elderham going towards Flowertown in Fort Washington. You continue down Germantown Pike, and you're in Lafayette Hill going into Going into White Marsh, you have um, you can go into Plymouth Meeting. You can get to Plymouth Meeting within 15 minutes. My husband worked in Plymouth Meeting since then. They had just moved his job like 2 weeks ago, and yeah, like I would be working during the day, and if he needed me to go bring him something, I was at his job within 15 minutes, and he worked in Plymouth Meeting. And you can also take Bells Mills Road, and where Bells Mills Road is at right here. And going to, and I mean, I got to the Forbidden Drive. This is where we parked right here to go do our walk. We were right here, not that far from Chestnut Hill. Um, and you could take Bells Mills Road into Andorra and Roxborough and Manion, just going more into the city. You're staying more in the city when you go down Bells Mills Road. But yes, it's Chestnut Hill. As you can tell, you can get to 309 within like 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes. You can go into Jenkintown, Winco, Glenside. Yeah, and it's as you can tell, where your Chestnut Hill is just it's just a great community to live in if you're looking for accessibility. Uh, yes, you're going to be paying more in home prices because the homes are significantly higher. But at the same time, if you're okay, you don't have to get $1 million house. You can get a nice decent home for within the threes, actually. Within the threes. You may have to put it's may not be as big, but you can get a decent 3 story, not 3 story, like 3 bedroom home with 1 bath. Um, and the homes are cute. So, but other than that, there and most of the houses they do have driveways for the most part. There is street parking. You also have driveways. In all street, if you're living in a complex where it's I should say, is there condos in there? Not that many. I don't think there's really that many condos in Chestnut Hill. I know some new builds do have driveways, of course, um, but you have driveways. Um, and but yes, there. It is a hill. Yeah. But anyway, that is it. That is my map video on Chestnut Hill. Feel free to like and subscribe and share. Um, if you're interested in this area, you can feel free to give me a call or email me. My information is down below in the description. And check out when I do my vlogs for Chestnut Hill. I have 2 vlogs, as I stated in the beginning. One where I'm walking up and down Germantown Avenue, showing the shops more in depth. And then also my drive through Chestnut Hill. I drove down a few streets. I'll probably do another video driving through more bigger areas where the homes are bigger. I'll do the other side of Chestnut Hill of Germantown Avenue. But other than that, stay tuned for those videos, and I will see you on the next.